We're live.
Hey,
Kiwi, what's going on, brother man?
yeah, not a lot. Just another day in paradise and working on Mustangs and Ford trucks and AC Cobras and
Nice. You got another Cobra in there?
yeah. Guess what motor it's got in it?
Oh, jeez. Let me guess. It's a dual quad FE.
Correct.
Of course.
I don't know what it is, but man, they all come my way.
Well, now everybody's coming your way. It's Wednesday night, Wednesday Night Live Tech Talk. This is the one night of the week when you get to just spew. You get to projectile vomit your immense knowledge all over the general public, and they don't mind.
Something like that.
It's
Yeah,
crazy,
no, they
right?
don't.
Okay. So who we got here? Mexican Spec.
Who
We're
we got?
back with Nick Bruni.
Carbo's here from
Bravo.
all the way from Aussie.
Eric Vitale.
Jeff Hutchins.
You can see everything, right? Scoob.
Yep.
Rust Bucket Restos. DF Repair. Holy Comrades. Jeff Hutchins. Jeff Hutchins loves you. Spew some knowledge on Jeff.
About what exactly?
It just comes out of you. Dean Stevenson.
2 hours in the house. Dean Stevenson. Okay. 0.
Sean Fagan wants to know, why does it hurt when he pees?
I have to come in for a second.
Sure. You want to answer the question for Sean Fagan?
No.
That's one of the best songs off of Joe's Garage. You familiar with Joe's Garage?
No.
Really? It was Zappa's first opera. Or was it Thingfish? Wait. Hey, Kat? I don't know. I don't know which came first, Thingfish or Joe's Garage. But why does it hurt when I pee? It was one of the best rock songs of all time.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that one.
Well, Mopar Den says it's a urinary tract infection or a UTI if you have a cat. That's
a very similar thing, I believe.
Yeah. Yes. J.R. Rivers is thankful it only hurts when he poops. Now that's a whole different thing, man.
It's a whole different thing. Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. Go see a doctor. Okay, let's see. See, Satori says there's medicine for that. Yes. Zero. What's happening, brother man? Usually means you're a dirtbag. Zero. What came first, Thingfish or Joe's Garage? He says that one means you're dying.
And the Koska's in the house.
Cabo urinary tract glitch. So Andrew Button says there were better toppings than bathroom stuff.
Well, yeah.
Hell if I know.
Expect too much one-hand action. Oh, yeah.
Joe, are you unfamiliar with the operas of Frank Zappa? Because if you are, get off of this live right now. Google Joe's Garage. Why does it hurt when I pee? And then come back here.
Zero's putting my link up. Good man.
Oh, it's a content giveaway channel. What are you giving away? Oh, you're giving away content.
Holy car mods. Oh, you enjoyed the Mustang video? Good. Well, that's good. That's what I like to hear. So, yeah. Trying to spread a little bit of knowledge.
Zero says he does not Zappa. Zero, come on, man. If I think it's cool, come on, it's got to be cool, right?
Scoob is a turbo 400 behind a 396 with 2500 torque converter. Yeah, that would be fine. I don't see any problem with that. 2200 is not a super big stall converter. Turbo 400 is an awesome transmission.
Okay, there's N2YTA. He's tuned in. Okay. Stop smoking. If I did, Kiwi wouldn't talk to me anymore. He says he only likes me because I smoke. I
That is the
smoked them.
upside of doing these lives remote, is that
You don't have
I
to
smoke
smoke.
them. I got to be honest.
I smoke because Mrs. Kiwi won't let him smoke. So he smokes
No,
vicariously through me.
no, I made her give up smoking.
Uh, let's see. Okay, here's a good question. Dramal Ken, what happened to the Hemi Conquest? That's when I first saw your channel. The Hemi Tsubichi.
It's sitting in the corner by the fence, gathering dust and dirt, and yeah. Things just got so busy at work that anything personal kind of got put on the back burner. And that's kind of where it's gone, and it's I'll bring it back one of these days. I just really don't know when. I'm not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel currently, as far as getting ahead of the work that I've got.
You're in such high demand, bro. I mean, how many people in our area do what you do?
Not many, no.
See,
Not many.
I was bragging on you today to my friend John, the new landlord, John. So he's got a
Right.
Hellcat. He's putting a Hellcat he's putting a Hellcat in a 71 Roadrunner. He's putting a Hellcat in a 72 Cuda. Like he's Hellcat crazy. He just wants to put Hellcat motors and everything.
That's your new landlord, is it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've known him for
Okay.
years. I built an engine for him.
Oh.
Like, I don't know. I guess it was about 15 years ago, and we became
Okay.
friends. But I was bragging on you, bro. I was telling him, I says, this Kiwi does Chip Foose level work. Just doesn't have the TV show to go with it. And it's true, you do. That's where we get along, bro. We're opposites.
Yeah. That's true. It's Mexican Speak. Is this how you will do lives once you move to the new shop?
No, we're gonna have a whole setup there, man. It's gonna be very professional. It's gonna be good. We're gonna set up a whole studio area where it'll be like a higher level than anything we've done before.
Velo Carburado. Yeah. What would you do if you weren't a mechanic, Tony?
I would carry around Kiwi's piss bucket. I would be, yeah. Because an important guy like him doesn't have time to go to the bathroom. He needs somebody to follow him around with a bucket. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I would. A mechanic.
Where does this stuff come from, Tony? Like what meds are you on? Because I would like to have some.
It's the tumor.
It's the tumor.
It's the tumor. It moves around. So yes, that's what I would do. Well, actually, you see, I'm not a mechanic. I haven't been a mechanic in a very long time. I'm a YouTuber. I play a mechanic on YouTube. Kiwi, on the other hand, is an actual mechanic. He does this stuff. He's much more of a man than I am.
Non-typical. Thanks for the compliment. I appreciate that. Zero's Kiwi Smokeless channel content.
Yes. So any of you guys who haven't already gone and subbed to Kiwi's channel and pledged your soul to his dark forces or whatever it is, go over there now and do it. Kiwi's, Jesus Christ, it's something. Kiwi's channel.
I need 12 more subscribers and we'll hit 17,000. So that'll be kind of cool.
12. Come on, guys. We need 12 subscribers. We got 166 people on here right now. We need to, please. We got it. You got it, Kiwi. Watch.
See if we can't hit 17,000 tonight. That'd be cool. Kiwi's dark forces. YouTube. Hurry. I'm in Zero. You're almost as creative as old Tony here.
So, okay,
Tony would run a coffee house.
Oh man, that was a great business. It was a lot of fun. You would do great in there.
Oh, me?
Yeah. So Joe K saying, too bad UTG won't get involved with a Hellcat, or would love to see him Tonyize it. No, well, okay, I'm gonna latch on to John, and because he's already building these things, and I really have no interest in building them. So when Kiwi gets the Mitsubishi, the Hemi Mitsubishi together, I'll help him with that, and I'm gonna help John with his projects. I just have no desire to build one myself. I have to. Like,
and the 392 Hemi, don't forget.
and the 392 Hemi. Yet
Mm.
another project on top of everything else. Kiwi's Smokeless Coffee Shop.
Coffee shop.
So you know, oh, what happens here? So funny fact. Okay, when I opened my second coffee house here in Tennessee, they had just changed the laws as far as where you smoking inside. You could smoke in a bar, but you couldn't smoke in a coffee house. And I couldn't do the liquor license or anything to do a bar, because I didn't want to sell liquor anyway. So I found a loophole, and that was that any place that sells tobacco and groceries is allowed. It allows people to sample the tobacco while they're. This was Tennessee law. So my second coffee house was officially on paper a grocery store, and in order to comply with all the rules, I had behind the bar up on the wall I had cans of soup. So it would be a grocery store that sold tobacco and customers could sample the tobacco, and I got away with that for 2 years. Let's see. Coda is saying my last name is Coffee. Is it really? Our name is Kawa, which is the Polish word for coffee. You speak fluent Polish, don't you, Kiwi?
Me? Good grief, no.
Weren't you singing the Polish national anthem to me on the
No,
phone?
it wasn't me.
It was
No.
somebody else. Okay.
Kiwi I speak, but not Polish, no.
I'm surprised. It's so similar.
Thar Hall's asking, is that the infamous Kiwi? Well, maybe.
Yes.
I'm not famous, so maybe I'm infamous. Yeah, it could well be a thing.
Dude, you're only 17 away from how many thousand?
12. 12 away from 17,000.
Guys, we need 12 more subs. How could you've got 17,000 people
Oh,
who have
okay, now I'm 3 away. The guys were listening. They were listening.
come on, guys. 3 more subs. Come on, get over there and do it.
Picked up 10 subscribers in like 2 minutes.
Um,
that's very cool.
Okay. Anthony Barber, 1974 Valiant or Dark? Funny you asked that, because that's a trick question. That's a trick question, Anthony Barber, because 1974 was when the Valiant and the Dart became the same car. 73 was the last year for the shorter wheelbase Valiant. Let's see. Kiwi is mega chill. Will wrench on Fords. You have to be. I would need to pop a handful of volumes every morning I walked into his shop if I had to do what he does.
Yeah. The formula is going to get his girlfriend to subscribe. There you go. Tarbo's only Tarbo's 16,600 off 17,000 subscribers. So
go over and show Tavo some love, guys.
Yeah, it just takes a little while, man. It takes a little while. I think my channel's about 18 months old now, so it does take a bit of time.
Well, I mean, that for that matter, how many people don't have 17,000 subs? And you're doing, you're doing better than like literally, no exaggeration, like 99.8% of all YouTubers. You're ahead of them, so you're doing great.
Yeah, I'm happy with the way it's going. Yeah.
And Kiwi, I know Zero just put up the link to Kiwi's channel. Thank you, Zero. Did you check that out, Zero? Come on, did Joe's Garage? Did you go over there?
17,000.
Yay!
Just like that. 17,000 subscribers. Thanks, guys.
And what are you going to give them?
That's very cool. I don't know. I'd give them merch if I had some.
You still don't have merch?
I don't have. Oh, damn well, I don't have merch because I don't get off my ass. Well, I don't get away from Ford to do anything about it. 20 minutes. 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 20 minutes.
Let's see.
Let's subscribe to my channel. Well, good. Thank you, Pat.
Who won the baby hippo?
Sincere. The baby hippo.
Uh,
Chris Freeman's a 20,000 subscriber gets the Mitsubishi.
there you go.
Yeah, well.
To Postman, just got off work. Great to see this live. Welcome to Postman. Let's see.
John M. Tony. I've driven a couple of 429s. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be our age and car people without ever driving something with a 429. And I've driven Boss 429s as well.
Yeah, I've never driven a Boss 429. But
you're not missing anything. It was one of the most disappointing experiences of my life. I drove a Boss 351 that same day, back to back. I got out of the Boss 429, and I got into a Boss 351, and it was night and day. The Boss 350, and they're both dead stock. They were both exactly where they came from the factory. This was a collector back in New Jersey that had these cars, and the Boss 351 just would have run away and hid from the Boss 429.
Wow.
Tony, would you ever get into the newer Hemis? I've toyed with it so many times over the years, but they literally do not do a thing for me. You know, I mean, I have nothing against them. Like, I can't say a word against them, but they don't do it for me. They don't talk to me. Kiwi talks to me.
Tavo's been putting together a Briggs and Stratton.
Is he really? Let's see. It's a Postman. So I got a Sublime Green 2023 Challenger Scat Pack. Should I convert it to an AA or CUDA or a 71 Hemi CUDA or make it a modern day TA? Dude, I mean, I can't really understand why you would want to change it. It's got its own specific identity. What do you think, Huey?
Sorry, say again. I was reading the comments. What?
Oh, this one, the Postman. So we got a see that one?
Sublime Green 23 Challenger Scat Pack. Should I convert it to an AA CUDA, 71 Hemi CUDA, or make it a modern day TA?
Yeah, bro. I would leave it alone. The car's got its own identity, man. Its current identity is as strong as any of those other cars' previous identity. So why make it something that it's not?
Yeah. I actually tend to agree with you on that one, Tony. It's I'd just leave it as it is. You're just going to be kind of come across as a sort of a pretender, I think, if you try and make it into something that never was.
Yeah.
It's like those Camaros they converted into the Pontiac Trans Ams. They just, that company that was doing that to the late model Camaros, and they just never really took off because they were never really a Trans Am. Terence Seymour, Kiwi, sitting in the local Thai Happy fish and chip shop waiting for my order whilst watching you guys. Well, that's cool. Man, it's been a while since I've had good fish and chips, but in the town he's talking about, Thai Happy, is the gumboot throwing capital of New Zealand.
The what?
Which is a dubious title to have, but hey, they have a gumboot throwing, like a Wellington boot or like rubber farmers boots. They have a throwing competition once a year.
Well, there you are, just spewing the knowledge, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's useless bit of information, but hey,
No, it's not useless. We're all much better for
it. Steve Magnati is getting back in the saddle.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
He posted a video yesterday. He sounds good. He looks like he's got to put some weight back on. He's got to get his strength back together again, but he sounds good. Paul Cavazola. Oh. Uh-oh. Well, Paul Cavazola just... Oh, there he is. Okay. Is there any early Hemi content coming soon? Yes. Then I think it's going to be the next video I do, probably tomorrow. I'm going to cover the DeSoto and the Dodge Hemis of that era because we talked about the 392, or the Chrysler, but we didn't talk about the Dodge or the DeSoto. So I'm going to do a rundown on those two engines and the similarities between the DeSoto and the LA motor.
Paul Caballoza, is there any Hemi content coming soon? Early Hemi? Well, yeah, there is.
Oh, and then of course his.
So yeah, that'll be 392 Hemi. That Tony's going to be putting that together as soon as he gets his new shop done.
I can't wait.
Dustin, and he's all set up.
You want to see my? Yeah, I'll show you. Keep everybody talking. I'll show you my last early Hemi.
Okay.
My last 392.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I built others afterwards, but this was the last one that I had myself personally.
There's a few of you guys know that obviously like fish and chips, that's cool. Dean Stevenson, Tie Happy, yeah. Never spent much time in Tie Happy, driven through it a lot of times, but not really spent any time there other than getting something to eat, along the way, on the way somewhere else. But I think that's part of being Tie Happy, I think.
Oh, come on.
Glenn Nickerson, you guys must get good catfish in Tennessee. I have never had good catfish. I don't understand why people like it. The only catfish I've ever had tastes like dirt.
Kathy's a catfish.
No,
She likes.
no, do not. I do not like catfish. Yeah.
So
Kiwis, Tarbo's saying Kiwis are practicing for tuna throwing. They do it in the South Australia. Good Lord.
So here's that's
there
Uncle
you go.
Kathy getting ready to get in the car to warm it up. But that's my last 392 Hemi. I built that back in 1989, I think, 1989 or 1990. Just in time for them to make that particular chassis illegal. Wait, there's a better picture.
Is mine going to go like that one?
No. That's not a good picture.
Oh, Fahul asked for vinegar for his chips. Mate, that is the best part of fish and chips, is the vinegar that you put on it. Yeah. Crayfish and power. Mm-hmm.
So for everybody ever accused me of building nothing but junk, that's just stuff I used to build.
It's pretty.
And then I learned cheap is fun. Simple is fun.
So Tony hasn't had a cool car since the late 90s.
No.
Ooh. Tony, how did you decide on the angle of the header tubes on that 392?
Is that a Kent Fuller question?
Is what?
Kent Fuller. And yes, I'm a firm believer in that. How did I decide on the angle of the header tubes? I went by the angle of the front hoop of the roll bar.
So it was more aesthetics than engineering.
Yeah. A slingshot dragster has to have a certain aesthetic. You look at any of the nostalgia cars; they look like hell because they don't go by the proper aesthetic. And that proper aesthetic was actually first perfected by Kent Fuller in 1964 for a car that he built for Tommy Ivo. And at that point, they determined that the angle of the header should match the angle of the front hoop of the roll cage. So everything goes in that same plane. It's those little details that made those cars as beautiful as they were.
John M. Malt vinegar. Yep, that's the one. You can buy it here too. You got to look for it, but it's out there. Yeah.
Let's see.
John M., how long did that 392 last?
That 392 meant a horrible, horrible demise in somebody else's car. I sold it to a guy in Chicago, right? So the car was illegal. I put it together, and literally the NHRA changed because the nostalgia of how fuel thing was just starting to catch on. So they changed the rules on the chassis, and that was an old Woody Gilmore Flexi Flyer. And the tubing diameter and thickness was all perfect, but the breakaway section for the roll bar or for the cockpit section was behind the motor upright, and it had to be in front of the motor upright. And to fix it, I would have had to redo the whole car. So I said, the hell with that. And I sold the car and I sold the motor. So I sold it to a guy in Chicago. I won't mention his name. He kind of became well known a little bit later on. So I sold to a guy in Chicago, and I sold him everything except the fuel lines. Okay. So I sold him the blower, the hat, right? Everything but the fuel lines. So what he did was he recopied the fuel lines, but he did it with brake line tubing. And brake line tubing has a smaller inside diameter than the stainless steel tubing that we used on those. So his first run, the thing got to about 1,000 feet. It was running good, but it was lean. Got to about 1,000 feet, and it grenaded itself. When I got back and when I got to him and I saw the wreckage and everything, the block was just in little chunks and everything was melted solid. And I didn't know what he did, right? It was like, how the hell did you do this, right? I went over every aspect of the tune-up with him, and as it turns out, it was the fuel lines. He didn't realize the brake line tubing had too small of an internal size to jet it properly, for nitro. It would have worked okay on gasoline, but wouldn't have worked on nitro.
Mm. Wow.
Kiwi tartar sauce is the best part, and a little squirt of lemon. You always talk about the little squirt of lemon.
Oh dear. So bro's asking about an intake manifold. You may be able to help him with, Tony. Don't know whether you saw that.
Hey, bro.
And he's got a.
I don't know what he's talking about, though. I'm thinking about mentioning the original intake because of this.
Yeah, it's further up at 724. He said, I'm having a fitment issue with a wind 7510 single plane intake manifold, I assume.
I see it. Okay.
You got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Near the rear with the
rear there are no exhaust ports to match. I don't get that. I'm having fitment issues with a YN 7510 single plane intake manifold near the rear where there are no exhaust ports to match the 318. 294 head exhaust. Would that cause issue covering? I'm not sure what there's okay, at the very back of a small block, okay. So on the back of the cylinder head has an opening, okay, for a water crossover, right? But there is no matching on the intake manifold. So there's no water crossover at the back of the intake manifold. What they did was they put water jackets at both the front and the back of the head, so the head could go on either side, put it on either side of the engine, and everything will line up.
left or right.
Right, but only the water ports at the very front are used. So yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Okay, that makes sense. Tony, what car shows are you doing this year?
What car shows is who doing?
Somebody asked that further up.
Which car shows are you doing?
Me? Well, I mean, all things being equal, we should be going to this Grand National Roadster Show in California, in LA.
So you bring people up.
Hopefully, we'll roll. Sorry.
Bring people up to speed on this adventure you're going on, just in case they
missed it last week.
Yeah.
Okay. So, beginning of February, I'm heading over with Steve that works with me over to San Diego to pick up a 1959 Plymouth station wagon or Suburban. which Tony's building this 392 to go in. Mexican Specs just asking what date. Yeah, 2nd of February we're going. And then hopefully we're going to spend 2 days getting it running because it hasn't been tagged since 1979. So quick bit of maths, 45 years, but hey, it's not that long. I wish I was born in 1979. That doesn't seem very long ago at all. Glenn Nickerson. Yes, definitely going to film it. Don't worry about that. But yeah, we're giving ourselves 2 days to get it running, the Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday morning, the plan is to drive up and take in the Grand National Roadster Show in LA there somewhere. It's in LA, Pomona or somewhere, I think it is. And we might even, if the old Plymouth's going all right, we might just for shits and giggles throw a for sale sign in it, park it in the car park at the Grand National Roadster Show, and hey, if someone wants to double my money, we'll just fly home instead of driving home. But, who knows what will happen.
You're having second thoughts on the road trip, aren't you?
No, just like open to all options. Open to all options.
You weren't last week. Now you started thinking about it, and it's like, man, that desert, I could die out there.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to take some long johns, some thermal underwear, and try and stay warm.
So Dr. Art is in the house. Welcome, Dr. Art. He wants to know if anybody has a 72 or older El Camino for sale. So if you guys have any idea where you can score an older El Camino, let him know. Dr. Art's Hot Rod Rehab.
Cordell B's asking about tyres. We're going to put new tyres on this Plymouth wagon. They're quite cheap. We'll get it running. We'll whip down to discount tyres, something like that, and just throw a new set of 14-inch little skinny, cookie cutter tyres and drive it home. At least that's the plan.
Well, that might be. No, okay. Yeah, that's
probably... Mexican spec. I'm not sure whether that's Mexican arithmetic or you just didn't quite know what I paid for it, but that doesn't quite add up. No. It's a little more expensive than that, but
what was that now?
Eastwood Hot Rods just subbed to Kiwi. Thank you, Eastwood Hot Rods. Mexican Spec was saying that I'll sell it for 4.
Now, yeah.
It's like no.
Russ Crum, what carburetor?
Maple. Oh, there's Vincent Caruso. Maple Motors has 2 El Caminos. Dr. Art. So
they're not cheap. Those guys they get top dollar for everything.
Yeah, Maple Motors. Yeah.
So Russ
I'm not gonna. Sorry.
Russ Crum wants to know what carburetor would be a good replacement on my '59 T-Bird 352.
Fairly small one, just a 600 would be ample for that. It's not a big horsepower engine. Yeah.
What originally came on that?
352. Yeah, that's a good question.
What that would have been a Holly. That
wouldn't have been the teapot or Holly, would it? No, that's earlier.
Yeah, I think they got away from the teapots in 56 or 57. What the original carburetor on that thing, bro? I think, Russ, if it's 4-barrel, I'm pretty sure it's the original carburetor was a 600 vacuum secondary Holly. A lot of people don't know that those Hollies, all the Hollies that we know today, were originally designed and installed on Fords from the late 50s, like 1958, 59. All of our Holly carburetors we know today have their roots as factory Ford carburetors. Let's see.
4140 auto light. Okay.
Oh, look, it's me. I know someone that had an El Camino for sale. The girl at the supermarket. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Do you know her name, Kat? That's by the way, it's Kathy in the other room.
Yeah. The Mexican spec saying, remind the tyre shop that the left-hand side is left-hand threads. Those young guys don't know. They'd be bolts too, wouldn't they, on that 59 Plymouth? Are they bolts or they have
No,
studs?
those should be studs. Those should
There
be
should be
studs.
studs? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of them had bolts though, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know what the cutoff here was, but I'm pretty sure 59. Yeah, anything in the late 50s would have been studs.
Okay.
Wouldn't that be a bitch though? You go through all that work to get it together and run in and everything else, and you run over to the tire shop and they snap all your luck or your studs off.
No. Yeah, that would not be good.
Okay, so Kathy is saying, I think so. She's always working out. I know her by face. I will go by there tomorrow. Dr. Art, I'm actually, and if I remember correctly, she was kind of cheap too. I will go by Publix tomorrow, Dr. Art. Find this girl and ask her for you.
Any excuse, eh, Tony?
What's that?
Any excuse, huh? Go and talk to the girl from Kroger's.
Oh yeah, please. You know, I'm not Kroger, but Publix.
Public, sorry, beg your pardon.
Let's see. Her name is Kelly. That's right. That's right. Thank you, Kathy.
Glenn Nickerson, I'm with you, bud. Yeah, Dr. Art should get a Ranchero, not an El Camino.
There was
Tavo's saying I should tub out the rear of the Plymouth, the Suburban, and finally create the Mopar equivalent of the Ranchero and El Camino. I'm following you there, Tavo. Suburban's a station wagon. The Ranchero and El Caminos are pickup trucks or utes.
See, you always throw me when you say suburban. You always throw me because that's your foreigner word for wagon.
Right. Well, I mean that's what Plymouth called their wagons was Suburban, and then Chevy started using the name.
That's true.
But that was something quite different again. So
it's not just your foreigner lingo; it actually is what they call them.
Oh yeah, the Plymouth was a Suburban, yeah. And they had a Suburban Sport, and it's just a regular Suburban and a Suburban Sport. I think the Sport was the 9-seater or 8-seater or something. Yeah, the one I've got, unfortunately, it doesn't have the third row of seats, which is a shame because I think that adds an extra element of cool having those little seats in the back. But hey,
it's Ralph, brother Ralph. What is the green pump at the gas station for? Guacamole. That's your guac pump. Julie G. Tony, don't be a chicken shit. Let me tell you about the 26 Teslas I towed last month. Brand new ones. Don't be afraid to let the world know. Cornudo. No, Julie, well, go ahead. Just you type it out, and I'll highlight it for you. All right. Yes, Mexican Spec is saying Suburban was the name of the wagon, confirming Kiwi's original thing. The postman, can I get more info on that Slant 6 you hot rodded? What's the horsepower, and is there more to come, or is it done? The car is done. I have the motor. And all of the good stuff that goes with it. That car was not a good fit for what I wanted to do with it. So there will be more Slant 6 stuff coming later on this year. I got to get settled into the new shop, get everything all together, and then we're going to pick up on a few things that we left off on mid last year. Oh my God. What a great super chat. Thank you, sir. What do you think this will run? 73 Charger, 453 low deck, TF240 heads, Super Victor, AED. Oh, okay, the AED and 950, the carburetor, solid roller, 257, 267, at 50, right, 50, 108 LSS, a choppy, nice choppy cam. 11 to 1, 727, a custom ATI, 5,000 sold, 430 gears, 29.5 by 10.5. 15s. Car weighs 3,900 with me. It's funny. I kind of know that basic combination, all except for the AED 950. I'm gonna say if you've got it sorted where it hooks and goes, there's no reason that car won't go deep into the 11s. Like, I mean, like, so 3,900 pounds, 4,000 pounds. There's no reason you won't go way deep in the 11s, like kind of drive it, like a street type of tune-up, a mild, it's going to be a good car. It's going to be a really good running car. The only issue I think really you're going to have with that over the earlier B bodies is the isolated front K-frame and all of that. Those cars are a little mushy and they're a little nose heavy, and the weight is in the wrong place. You're carrying like an extra 100 pounds in the worst possible place you could have it, way down low like that. But that's minor. You'll definitely down deep into the 11s with tuning faster than that. It froze. Did this freeze?
Still going here.
Mine is froze.
No. Chavo, I understand. I get you now. Chop the roof like off and make it into a pickup truck. Yeah. I wouldn't mind doing it to a Mustang one day, making a Mustang into a Ute. They did make a few of those back in the day. I saw a picture of one a few weeks back of a '69 Mustang that had been cut down into a Ute, into a pickup. And the earlier Mustangs I don't think looked that great, but the '69 actually looked pretty damn good. Yeah.
Robert saying, appreciate it. I know I've tried lightening it. It's been tough. Yeah, like those doors. I don't know if those doors have a crash bar in them. It's like 20 pounds per door. If you can get those crash bars out of them. Those cars have a lot of hidden weight. Now my 73 Roadrunner, 344 speed, and it's stock except for it's got an aluminum intake manifold on it and headers, and it's 3550. That's with power steering and everything. So you can, it's the same car. So you can get it down there. Yeah, and that's not lightened. That's full bench seat interior and everything just the way it came from the factory. So, you got a couple 100 pounds you can squeeze out of there. Why would you bother Ute converting a Stang, no load capacity, and it's a Ford? Did they make Ford Utes? Yes.
Yeah, Rancheros.
Is that considered a Ute?
And the Ranchero is, yeah.
Well, the Falcon.
And the Falcon Ute, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not like they're hard to, it's not like there isn't one already made. So, I mean, you have a point, like why build something you can already buy? But, I mean, that's why we do hot rodding, though, to have something different, like that Cougar that I'm building, the fastback Cougar. I mean, the guy could have just bought a '69 Mustang fastback, but he wanted a '69 Mustang fastback on a Cougar. So
he wanted the only thing.
No one would have one.
He wanted the one of a kind. You're not gonna see yourself coming and going anywhere with that.
Jay Weiss, Turbo Garage. Have you seen Summer Nats? Yeah, that Summer Nationals. That's something that's on my bucket list. I'd like to go and take that in one day, but I'm not quite sure when. But apparently, it's a absolutely massive car show.
Holy car mods. Kiwi and Tony, do you think it would be possible to put a Hemi in a Datsun? I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. A Datsun what? There's a lot of different Datsuns.
A lot of different Datsuns, yeah.
A Z car, yes. Absolutely. Those things actually have really generous engine bays. You can put pretty much anything you want there. The early Zs. So I'm going by Datsun, not Nissan. Okay, because you know what I mean? Like once you cross into the Nissan nameplate, now everything is like, front wheel drive, transverse, so it starts to become difficult. Where the Datsuns, well, really, the Z car would be the only one that would be suitable for that, I think. Right?
Mm. Oh, I mean, you just got to want to do it enough. I mean, they put big, like big engines in minis. If you're dedicated enough,
It
so
depends
you
on it.
just got to want to.
Right, you could put a V8 or a Hemi in like literally anything, providing that you have no problem blowing a complete floor pan out of the car and re-engineering, building a chassis and mounting a rear end and all that. But if you wanted to
Putting a
make
skin on it.
yeah, but
Mm.
if you want to make it a practical swap,
Mm. But you're right about how many Datsuns and Nissans there are. My old man, years and years ago, he had a Nissan Cedric. I bet you've never heard of that.
never heard of that.
Yeah, it's a big four-door saloon, quite blingy, and believe it or not, the engine it had in it was a 2-liter V4 turbo in
Really?
this big car. It was like the Japanese did some strange stuff. Like it should have had a 4-liter at least in it. It was a big car. It was like probably pushing Crown Vic size, but it
Okay.
had a 2-liter V4, like just a one of the Nissan V6s with a 2 cylinders sliced off, and then they turboed it to give it a little bit of up and go. And it was a strange car, but popular, popular. Again now because that was from like the 80s, I think. So
All right, hang on. I gotta look something up here because Zero is saying it's got a narrow engine compartment. He's usually right. I remember it as being a very wide engine compartment. I'm looking this up right now. 40Z. 240Z engine bay.
now,
No, bro, that's the way I remember. It's a very open engine bay.
so bro's saying Kiwi. I went to 2 rear quarters earlier a year ago and cleaned out the trunk pan, checked for weak spots. Um, I'm guessing you're talking about a Mustang, perhaps, given the latest video I put out. Yeah.
Set this on rotate.
Mike N, he was thinking of a Datsun 510. You could fit a Hemi in a Datsun 510. I've seen V8s in those things, like small block Chevys. So the Hemi's a little bit bigger, but hey, what
So
you got on this, Tony?
that's the
Oh,
engine bay
that's
on a Z
in
car,
a Z. Yeah,
an early Z car.
yeah. The small block Chevy drops in there.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
would need a Hemi like
looks,
this,
looks
no problem. The
yeah.
Hemi, all of the Hemi. Well, the 426 is an exception. No, I shouldn't even say that. All of the Hemis have the one advantage in fitting them into just about anything, in that the exhausts come down out of the cylinder head. Like you look at a small block or a big block, Chevy or Chrysler or anything, the exhaust comes out and then out and then down. But on a Hemi, the exhaust already faces down, so you don't have that width problem like between frame rails and stuff like you do with most engine swaps. Hemis actually fit better than most a swap. Like a Hemi Dart, for example. A Hemi Dart is actually much more serviceable than like a 3D3, especially a 440 Dart. Getting around the engine. The only tightness is just at the edges of the valve covers, but anything else, everything around it, especially the exhaust, it fits like it's just perfect.
It's in 210 hatchback Hemi. Good grief. Yeah, that'd be a handful. Glenn Nickerson, the gauntlet has been thrown down. Do it, Kiwi.
What are we doing?
I'm not sure what he's referring to, but whether he's meaning the Plymouth to a Ute or the one of these Datsun Hemis. Um, I'm not sure what she's meaning. But.
Lewis Caldron. Uh, I haven't seen much content about carburetor spaces on YouTube. Can you make a video to enlighten us on how it can be used to tune an engine? I have a 350 olds that I'm working on. I have covered carburetor spaces in the past. I did a whole thing on height, and I did a thing on individual, individual runner and just open. Let me try to remember what the name of the video was. This is one I did long time ago. And as soon as I remember, I'll I'll tell you what it was. Or you could just go to my channel and search carburetor spacer, because I have recovered that numerous times.
Holy car mods, friend of the family just picked up a Dodge Dart 440. What year is that?
What was that now?
Dodge Dart. Holy car mods. This friend of the family just picked up a 440 Dart.
440.
Dodge
Oh,
Dart 440.
a
Sorry.
wedge with the, okay, yeah, because Stage 5 was making conversion heads to mount on a wedge block. Actually, Steve Magnanti was involved in that. Yeah, that's a nice package. That's a fun car. The Hool, when they went full billet for the top fuel, a lot of old Hemi heads were left over, and they made kits for the 440 wedge. No. Oh wait, okay. So you're talking about the cast, the stage 5 cast waterhead. Yeah, you're right about that. There are differences, but the actual essential head themselves are the same. Wait, no. They used a longer exhaust rocker. The rocker stands mount differently, and the hole at the bottom of the intake port that where you normally screw the stud in, now it takes a small bolt that you put through the inside of the intake port, and it's in a different position. So the upper row of head bolts on a wedge motor are in a different place than the studs on a 426 Hemi for the upper row. So they're repositioned. So the stage 5 heads, and the water jackets at the corner of the head are different, because the 426 Hemi block and the wedge block have different shaped water passages at the corners. And then there's the external drain backs for the oil. So that's the difference between a stage 5 440 conversion head and a 426 Hemi head. And that's the drain back provisions for drain backs at the corner of the heads, the longer exhaust rocker, relocated rocker shafts, and the hole for the bolt to go through on the intake side, and the repositioned water jacket. That's the difference. Did I just go off in a weird place, Kiwi?
Huh?
I lost everybody. See, I lost you. I lost everybody. I'm sorry.
Opinion on here. This is Lewis Calderon. Opinion on heritage companies like Offenhauser as parts. There you go. You highlighted as parts in historical significance to the car hobby. Yeah.
I don't think there's really an opinion there. It's kind of a fact. They're extremely historical, extremely significant.
Yeah. I guess he's meaning to be like officially recognised, and I mean, I think they should. Offenhauser was, yeah. There's not many people haven't heard of. Well, I mean, if you're any kind of a car person, not many people haven't heard of Offenhauser. But I mean, even Edelbrock is kind of, like that's a big name. It's been around a long time.
Well, Edelbrock. I mean, Offenhauser and Edelbrock go all the way back to the 1940s. To the Dry Lakes days with aftermarket parts. I think they founded Edelbrock in like 1947, 1946 or 1947. Offenhauser should be like right there about that same era. And what was he?
No, okay, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize Edelbrock had been around that long. Wow.
Oh yeah. Vic was a hot shot on the Dry Lakes. There was another company that was in there. They've been gone for a long time, and I can't remember. I can't remember the name of it now. It's escaping me, but it was right there with Offenhauser and Edelbrock. It'll come to me. There's probably a few of them like that.
Yeah. At Zero Nash Metro. What's that?
Nash Metropolitan.
Zero's. Yeah, the Zero's put up a link. That must be some hot rodded Nash.
Oh yeah, somebody probably popped a Hemi in a Metropolitan.
Oh goodness.
Paul Cabazzola, more Hemi wisdom, please. No, Paul. I'm trying to forget all of this Hemi stuff. It was a dark period of my life. Paul, I only know Hemi stuff because I was so traumatized by it. I suggest you to stay away. Just absolutely stay away. Nothing good can ever come from that. Mexican Spec. Did you know Shelby built Mustang in Mexico in 1969 on the coupe body? No. There. Did you know that?
No, I did not. Like did the Shelby version on a coupe?
So there was one in America. There was one American coupe, and it may have been a 68 or a 69, and the car was green. And it actually had a name. It was called the Green something. I don't remember. But I know that Shelby built one GT500 coupe in America. Now I don't know about Mexican versions of that, but I do know that one. I know somebody in the chat knows more about that car than I do. And they just found it recently, like within the last 5 years or so.
No. Big Red Channel 20. One of those dual overhead cam Hemi heads for sale in the Detroit area. They made a dual overhead cam Hemi head.
That was the Doomsday Hemi. So Chrysler did the 426 Hemi, and then Ford said, "Well, we're going to put an overhead cam in our motor, so for the camera." And then Chrysler said, "Well, if you do that, we're going to put two overhead cams on ours." And at that point, NASCAR said, because it wasn't the camera that made NASCAR stop the whole, make wedge engines, the standard, right? Banning the Hemi in 1965. It wasn't the camera that made them do it. It was the fact that Chrysler was already one-upping Ford before Ford had ever actually put one of those engines officially in competition. And at that point, NASCAR was like, no, this is going way too far. And they just out now banned Hemi engines for 1965. John Deere.
That's one way of measuring the torque.
Yes. I just keep wrenching things until my elbows or shoulders pop.
Ouch.
Well, that's one way to do it, definitely. Drag Pack Merc.
Zero has a photo of the green real Shelby. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do? Can you post it up? Was I right about that? Is it a GT500? The Green Hornet Paxton fuel injected 68 500 KR coupe. That's even rarer than a fastback Cougar.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, Zero's going to send the picture to Kathy.
Okay.
Tony, do you have a pair of stories of Jungle Pam? A pair of stories?
Pam is a very nice woman. Let's see.
Kiwi's Big Adventure. Yep. I don't know. What will it be warming up in February? Well, it's very beginning of February, so man, here it's meant to be like down to 10 degrees next week or something.
Yeah, it's like we're going into a deep freeze for like 2 days. And the last time this happened, I literally at the last minute threw Kathy and the dogs in a truck and ran away to Florida. Like spur of the moment, just like that. I was like, okay, we're going because I'm not going to deal with this shit. So today, when I found out this morning, right, I says I am going to go buy a 6-pack of NyQuil, and I'm going to induce a coma as soon as the temperature reaches the 20s. I'm going to self-induce a coma and not come out of it until it's back up above freezing.
But you don't like the cold?
Oh, bro, no, you have no idea.
Redneck 5356. Who's taking bets on this? On the
Fenton, yes. I couldn't think of a name. Fenton was there with those other guys with the flatheads, and they ended up becoming a wheel company, and then they got eaten by another company. But yes, that was another big one. Oh,
we're talking Fahrenheit, not Celsius. You're Celsius over there where you are. We're 10 degrees. That's 22 degrees Fahrenheit below freezing. That's cold.
it looks like Tavo has won the internet for today.
Won the internet. That should be spelled Kiwi's Big Adventure. KEEWEE. There you go, Kiwi.
There you go, brother man. There's the name for your series.
Oh yeah, Kiwi's Big Adventure. There you go.
That's awesome.
Redneck said, "Who's taking bets on how far the Plymouth makes it?" I think Tony's taking bets. He just hasn't told me yet. I think he's doing it unofficially. He doesn't want to tell me about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a cash only deal for the locals, so let's see.
Mike Batista. Kiwi should be working on the fastback Cougar. I've got a bunch of cars I should be working on, and I'm just working on a little bit on all of them.
Let's see. Dowdella Burton. Have you ever changed a cylinder sleeve on your engine? I have a 69 340 Premium that has a crack from a broken connecting rod hit. Sleeve still cheap, but is it worth it? Yeah, given the rarity of good 340 blocks these days. And they're not super rare, but if you could save one, I would. The thing is, sleeving isn't cheap, man. Arden was another one. Thank you, Reg Top Dix.
Arden, yes.
Arden.
Very true.
So yeah, man. I mean, you're going to spend like $400 by the time you're done. By the time the smoke clears, having your block sleeve. But I mean, yeah, I would do it. I would do it. Arden. So you know who Kiwi? Let's see. I mean,
yes.
You know history. So you know the Arden Hemi conversion heads for the Ford Flathead.
Yes.
Yes. Do you know what Arden stands for? And what the connection is?
No, I don't know.
To Corvettes?
Do tell.
Zora Arcus Duntov. Arden Duntov. Arcus Duntov.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arden.
The father of the Corvette was actually putting Hemi heads on flathead Fords before that.
Grumpy Stiltskin. Can Kiwi do the bird? Not sure what you're asking there, but
I don't. I think it's a dance, bro. Something.
That's a chicken. That's a chicken dance. I'm at a Kiwi. I've not heard of a Kiwi dance.
Do they have chickens in Kiwi land in New Zealand?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Are they like regular chickens, or are they like a special kind, like maybe like scales or something?
No. What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm trying to picture what a New Zealand chicken would look like.
Joe K saying Kiwi bird is long time no see. Actually, he was in the latest. He made a cameo appearance in that latest video that I just put up, putting the quarter on that fastback Mustang. He's in there. Yeah, he's kind of been sitting in the corner, not making much noise, so I've kind of forgotten about him. But yeah, he's. Is Kev going along? Oh, Tarbo's asking, is Kev going along for the trip? We probably should take him. We'll strap him to the roof and see how much ice he collects.
Are you going to hang him from the mirror?
From the mirror, that's true. Yeah,
he just stare at you the whole time, rocking back and forth like that.
Oh my god. It'd be funny taking him through bloody TSA, like leaving Nashville.
The chickens have pouches. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. It's like I know there's got to be a twist to this, right?
Chickens do not have pouches. There's certainly some Australian critters that do, but not their chickens. No.
Uh,
Clean Nickerson, you need a Kiwi bobblehead. Yeah,
yeah,
it's true.
marsupial chickens.
Shoehorn Jackson. Have you heard of Smith jiggler heads for the flathead? Haven't heard of that one.
No, it's a new one on me. Somebody sent Pee Wee Herman references. He's just like he was so creepy, man. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait.
you're not a big fan of Kev, are you?
Oh,
Kiwi Kev?
oh, please, you're a kiwi bird. Oh, I love that
Yeah.
thing. All right. So Zero says, boss, I found this image to Kathy. It's been sold many times since the photo, but at the time, rarest challenge Shelby. All right. So if Kathy wants to bring in the picture, we'll show it on the thing here.
Mexican Spec said, watch the movie, Kiwi. I'm not sure which movie you're talking about, Mix. I must have missed the previous comment. A Kiwi chicken has 3,000 horsepower and a big ass blower and does 10-minute burnouts at summer nationals. Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like
They're crazy, the Australians, with their burnouts. Absolutely crazy. They get like, I've been told some of them use like tractor tires. Like front tires off a track, not the big mud grip ones, but they use those, and which got massive amounts of tread on them, and they just burn them and burn them and burn them and burn them.
Well, don't they make special tires for that now? Specifically, burnout tires?
There could be, yeah, could
I
be.
know they come in colors and whatnot. Oh, okay. That's the car? All right. Well, that doesn't really show much of it, but so that's the only GT 500 KR coupe. Of course, you can't tell it's a coupe from that picture.
No.
That's the one. And
Uh-huh.
somebody mentioned a California special, which was a trim package. California Ford dealers had. Have you ever seen one of those?
No.
Because that was on a coupe. I guess they were trying to sell coupes. They couldn't sell coupes. I guess Ford was selling them
Right.
a lot of coupes and they couldn't move them because they're ugly. Okay, it's an ugly car. And so the California dealers got together and made a special called a package called the California Special that had like it was dolled out like a GT 350 at the time.
Yeah, they had the Shelby spoiler on the back, and they had the big Thunderbird tail lights too, didn't they?
Yeah. Yep.
Dr. Art's had 3 California special Mustangs. I didn't realize you were a lover of all things Mustang, Dr. Art. That's very good. You've gone up in my yeah.
Huh. So was I right about that? Was that the situation with those cars? Because I'm going by like weird distant memories. Sometimes I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not sure if I imagined it or if it was real. Head trauma, lots of it. Oh, geez. He's had over 200.
Alice Resistor Garage, Vegemite sandwich. Never been a fan of Vegemite, Alice. Never been a fan of it. Tavo probably loves it, but not me. No.
Okay. Okay. Now,
Kiwi or Tony? Mount a 671 root style blower on a proper intake, or make a plate to adapt to a tunnel ram lower half. Going in a 1941 Dodge pickup hot rod.
well, you're not saying what motor you have. So
Yeah.
you can buy proper blower manifolds for the small block and for the RB motor. So if it's like a 413, 426, 440, 383, 400, like low deck, there are no regular available manifolds, blower manifolds for that. If you're going to mount it on a proper intake, you get into some weird machining on that, right? Because that's been done. I actually did one for somebody years ago because they remember now they mount carburetors on an angle. Carburetors are not mounted flat; they're mounted on an angle. So the intake manifold has to be, before you can mount an adapter plate to put a blower on top of it. The carburetor pad has to be milled flat before you
Right.
can do that. Now, you mount it to, if you mount it to the top of a tunnel ram, yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You're gonna get some serious height out of the thing. You're gonna get into a deal where you're not gonna be able to pick up a readily available length blower belt.
How about, yeah. He said put, bolt it to the lower half of a tunnel ramp, so that would take away a bit of the height, but it would still be high.
Well, it depends on the tunnel ram, really. I'm trying to picture
Yeah.
like a typical Y end, and then you're gonna have to have an inch for the adapter, because the adapter
Yeah.
is gonna have to actually flow into the. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's a tricky thing, man. I would try to just get yourself a regular blower and take manifold and call it a day.
Mm.
Um, let's see. Oh, what's this? I'm lacking understanding about. Yeah. It's yeah. He was a creepy fuck. He was. Okay. Kiwi, what do you think about the Ford Flathead? Would you guys ever build one?
Not for me, no. I wouldn't. I wouldn't bother, honestly. I mean, they're a slice of history, no doubt. The
Yeah.
Flathead V8, um, but yeah, you spend an awful lot of time and effort making a very modest amount of horsepower.
Modest to say the
Um,
least.
um,
As much as
but
I
they
love,
do have a cool look. They do have a cool look, and but yeah, if just me. Sorry, I've got it's coming up on my screen. There we go. Yeah, for me, they're just not enough horsepower and just inherently not, three main crank, that kind of thing. You just always struggling to make horsepower out of them. By today's standards, anyway.
I am a great admirer of flat. I love all flathead engines. Um, would I build one? If you brought me one and you said, "Hey, build this engine for me," I would say, "Yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat," because they're just so historic and they're so simple and they're beautiful. I mean, they really are beautiful. Would I actually build one for myself? No, no. But I am a great admirer of flatheads. I geek out over flathead powered hot rods, race cars especially. And the sound, yeah, with Kiwi you saying, with Zero saying is the sound, because those engines only have 3 exhaust ports, and the exhaust.
Yeah,
One of the downside of those engines is that the exhaust port is actually where the water jackets would be, typically between the cylinders. So it's a really weird setup there. But the sound, like flatheads, like they snore. It's this crazy sound that they make that you can't miss. It's the only engine I can think of that sounds like that.
at zero. Correct looking hot rod, flathead, nailhead, and early Hemi. I'm a fan of the nailhead, I have to admit. Even though that's an engine that struggles to put out serious horsepower.
You
Um,
have a nailhead.
yeah,
You own a nailhead, and you never want to
I
show it
do.
to me. I'm always like, "Show me the nailhead," and you're like, "Yeah, it's buried under there."
It is. It's buried under lots of stuff.
Yeah, I
I'll
love
dig it
those.
out for you one day. I'll dig it out for you one day. We'll do a video on it. How about that?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
There you go. There you go. John
Uh,
K. How to get more power out of a hit and miss. Oh gosh.
really, how would you go about getting more power out of a hit and miss?
Yeah, I'm not the right guy to ask. I don't know. I have trouble wrapping my head around how a hit and miss even runs anyway, let alone get more power out of it.
That's that's one of those things where like you have to like that's a gearhead version of like what is the sound of one hand clapping, right? That's the kind of thing where you really have to like you know you gotta like meditate out, you gotta like zen out, you know what I mean? And like work on that concept. How do you get more power out of it? Hit and miss. That's gonna be stuck in my head now.
Mike N said, "What nailhead is it?" It's a 425 nailhead.
Of course, it's the
So
best nailhead.
that's why it's sitting under a bench at my place, because they're fairly hard to find these days. Here's some more EV nonsense for you. Zigzag Bureau of Investigations, the ZBI, just in Colorado EV Jaguar spontaneously catches fire while charging in a garage.
Tony, they're
Note, it's
building a
also under recall for battery fires. Fox News Denver 30, Fox Denver 31.
Okay, so they're building a Chinese BYD EV dealership kitty corner to my new shop. First off, don't say where my new shop is. Okay, if you know where it is, do not say where it is. But tell me where I can find that information right now on my phone because I got to know this.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be wow, that'd be one end of the spectrum to the other, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it though? That would be a dangerous
Uncle
place. I
Tom.
would not want to be near a BYD. Have you seen the way those things go off?
Yeah.
Now you want to hear something crazy, Jimmy?
Yeah.
How screwed up the laws are around here, right? So I have a video that I want to do comparing. So there's tons of videos of bikes going up, right? Like electric motorcycles. Tons of videos
Hmm.
of these things like bursting into flames. And you get the idea how intense the fire is. So what I wanted to do was I want to take, I have a rack motorcycle and I wanted to douse it with a quart of kerosene, light it, show the fire, right? Put it out,
Yeah.
then douse it with a gallon of a quart of gasoline and do the same thing. And then compare that to, all right. So I says, I want to do this the right way. You know what I mean? I don't want to just torch this I want to have an actual fire department there. Do you know that our local fire departments, I called three different places, right? Do you know our local fire departments aren't allowed to do that?
Yeah, doesn't shock me, no.
How insane is that? There are all kinds of EPA regulations as far as putting out, you would think they would say, yes, here's an opportunity to practice. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
But nope, nope.
Mm. Perhaps you did have to get Kathy with a garden hose.
Sparks and
Mm.
fire you can see from space. All right, did he? I'm trying to. Oh, he's just kidding. Okay, thanks. I was about the EV dealership.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Tarbo said asbestos Trump wall at the side of your new place.
let's see. Yes, I have.
Gunnar Murphy, ever had any experience with the Nissan Datsun 720s? The pickup trucks? Yeah. Yeah, I've had a little bit with them. 2.4 litre overhead cam, L20 or L24, if I remember rightly. Good little trucks. Good little trucks.
I've never. I can't think of offhand any experiences I had with those. Uh, let's see. No, I'm not getting a tattoo. The cheap thing. I did have my granddaughters. They both drew tattoos on me a couple of weeks ago, but they came off. Um,
If I'd known that was going to happen, I'd have promised them all sorts to draw a Ford tattoo on your arm. That would have been hilarious.
what ink do you have, man? You gotta
No,
be really.
no, I'm tattoo free.
Well, we got to change that. Come on, I'll pay for it. You tell me what do you want to get, and I'll pay for it.
Yeah, no, it's never been my thing. Tattoos. It's just never really appealed. I don't know why.
This is
No
you would
particular
love it.
reason. Just
What's the national bird of New Zealand?
kiwi,
The kiwi, right? So let's get
of
a
course.
giant. Let's get a kiwi all over your chest and stuff.
I mean, you'd have to get me extremely. That would take a lot of bourbon. It would take a lot of bourbon. But
If you want to get it, I'll pay for it. I'll
no
pay for the
kiwi
bourbon too.
tattoo. Oh no, crackerjack tattoos. That sounds like a good place to go. Crackerjack tattoo.
Hi, I'm Kiwi. You
There
found
you go.
too.
Please return to. Yeah, there you go. That's funny.
Uh, oh, your brother got an XJ? Oh, bro, I'm telling you, it's a trap. The XJs are really addictive, man.
Holy Carmos. Yep. He's not into tattoos either.
Did I ever tell you about the one? I see. I don't have any tattoos. I've never had any desire to get tattoos. But years
Oh, so you're
ago,
the same. Okay.
right? Years ago, I almost got one though. Right? I was whacked on painkillers because I had broken my leg, and there used to be a show called Jackass. Okay. Now you have to understand. At the time, I had spent like 2 years, 3 years, where I had one motorcycle crash after another. So I was forever on crutches. I always had casts. It was terrible. It was a rough period of my life, right? And I'm sitting on the couch, and there was a show called Jackass, right? And at the beginning of the
Yep.
show, there's a skull, okay, with crossed crutches, okay.
No,
And since crutches had just become a normal part of my life, and like painkillers, lots of painkillers, I says I need that tattoo. So I got up on my crutches and I went to every tattoo artist on Staten Island, and I couldn't get a single one to do it. Nobody was able to do it from just, yeah, couldn't get anybody to do it.
really.
Yeah, and then the drugs wore off, and I forgot the whole idea. That was
Gosh, yeah. Was that when the opioids were at their kind of biggest?
well, I had, I was forever in, broken. So
Right.
all of my friends would gather up whatever pain pills that here my grandmother who died had these, right, and he'd give me a bottle of that, right? So I poured them all into a bowl, right, and I had like a whole bowl of various
Oh,
painkillers,
gosh.
and they were like little triangular yellow ones, and they were like ones with red and yellow. It's like all different, and like when it would start to wear off, I would grab a few of them like that, and then
Good Lord, it's a wonder you're still with us. Sheritol. Oh, goodness.
So are you guys all subscribed to Kiwis? Before we go any further, how many subs you got right now, bro?
Um, 17,005.
That's it? Come on, let's get you to 18,000 tonight. Come on.
It's a nice, jeez.
Yes.
That's a big ask.
No, we can
But
do
hey,
it. We can do it. If all
yeah.
of these people subscribe and they get all of their friends to subscribe tonight, we'll get you to 17,000.
Oh yeah, yeah. Peter Comeback says Tony's special Skittles, or the
Oh,
multicolored pills.
that was a crazy period of time, man. That was like the late '90s. The late '90s was just like it was nuts.
Swarm 669. Thank God you got off them. Most people don't. No, that fucked up a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really have an addictive personality.
That helps.
Yeah, like if I find that I'm becoming addicted to something, right? I back way the hell away from it. You know what I mean? I just
That's why
don't
you
have that.
gave up smoking, right?
But I see the smoking serves a purpose. I need the
It does.
smoking. Yeah, it keeps my brain clear.
Oh
You see what I'm saying?
no.
Okay, the combination of caffeine and nicotine has the same effect on the brain as Ritalin does, but without the negative side effects. So that's why I'm always drinking coffee, and that's why I'm always smoking cigarettes because it keeps me. I can focus. You know, what I mean? Without the tobacco, I'm all over the map.
There you go.
What are you addicted to? You got to be addicted to something.
Project cars.
Acquiring them or finishing them.
No, buying them. No,
Just
buying them is much more fun than finishing them. Yeah,
it's the biggest freaking dopamine hit you can get.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Acquiring the new car. So it's like there's lots of ways you can get the dopamine hit messing around with cars, right? Okay, so you power shift the perfect gear, right? Dopamine hit. You get the perfect launch, dopamine hit. But they're quick. They're fast dopamine hits. First start on a new engine. You get a little bit more of a dopamine hit. That's it. But
Yeah.
but when you actually go out, find a car, right? Go through all the motions to purchase it and get it back. It's this long, drawn out dopamine hit. And that's why we all end up with more project cars when we know what to do with. Because your brain is just constantly throwing those
Mm,
feel good chemicals at you the whole step of the way.
mm. Oh, yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like I about like 2 days after I pulled the trigger on this Plymouth wagon, I was like, you know, combing through the for sales on on Facebook again. Like, what am I doing here? Why am I looking for another project? I would tell myself it's just entertainment, just going through looking and see what's available. But you always run that risk of finding something. Oh, I always wanted one of those.
But you do have project cars like everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, that's a problem. It's yeah. Don't tell Mrs. Kiwi; she doesn't know quite how many I've got. But hey, what's that car over there? Oh, it's a customer's car.
Right?
Oh, now someone asked me a question. Where'd that go? Kiwi. So, what's your view on UAPs? What car would make the best UFO?
What car
Um,
would make the what? Oh,
the Chrysler Turbine car. That'd make a good UFO. It's got a Jetson look to it.
I would think one of them Citroen two CVs, two V. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Two CVs, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that would make a great looking UFO.
Can you see when they drop one out of a helicopter on Top Gear?
No.
Yeah, because Citroen said back in the day you could drop them from like 10 feet or something, and the suspension would deal with it, would cope with it. So the Top Gear guys like took it up to like 150 feet and dropped it. Yeah, the suspension did not cope
Okay.
in any way at all. It was a very short 2CV after that, but hey, it was funny.
So for you guys that don't know that car has this really unique suspension. So
Yeah,
all four wheels are tied together through a common hydraulic system. So when one compresses, it forces the fluid over to another wheel to counterbalance it, and
yeah.
so is it diagonal? Like if you compress the right front wheel, the left rear.
I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure which way it goes. It's not side to side because then it'd just want to roll
No,
over.
right. Yeah.
Then perhaps it's front to back. Um, would make more sense if it was front to back, but um,
Mm.
no, they were. But they were very problematic. That hydro. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it. It was hydro something suspension that they had. It was pretty unique, made for a very smooth riding car, but they were just problematic. They would leak all the time. Yeah,
Uh,
just give issues.
the Wheelie King 71 is saying, I've been there myself with the pain meds. Only I do have an addictive personality. The battle after 4 years on Percocet, you should see my disfigured leg, was brutal. Oh, bro, but you clean for 6 years now. That is absolutely awesome. I have never had that problem, but I have had many, many close friends and family that have. So I know what that's like, and good on you, bro.
6 years clean. That's awesome. Well done. Well done. And yeah, I've got a relative that has addiction issues, and he's clean now. But he's, his one thing he said that stuck in my mind was that it's a choice you have to make every single day to stay clean. You don't just kind of, after a couple of years, you don't just not think about it anymore. It's apparently you wake up in the morning and it's like, should I, shouldn't I? And you
Yeah.
have to make that decision to not. So that's got to be tough. So 6 years, it's good.
Uh,
Mexican speak. I'm tired of seeing the word Tesla.
yeah, so am I. Get rid of them, man. I think they're just trolling us. It's just somebody who's just trolling us. Uh, what do you value more, life or drugs? I value calzones more than pretty much any of those things.
Calzones, did you say?
Yes, yeah, fried calzones, not a baked calzone. A
Fried
baked calzone
calzone.
doesn't really, fit into that equation, life or drugs. But a deep fried calzone, absolutely, bro. Yeah, I value that more than either of the two. Same reason too. Damn motorcycles, bro. I went through a period. I don't even remember how many there were. There was so in three. So what happened was I got away from drag racing. I was like, oh nope, nope, no more drag racing. Goodbye with all that stuff. And I got rid of everything. And I said, no, I'm just gonna mess with motorcycles. But of course, at the time, I was still relatively insane. So there was no way I could just casually ride motorcycles. So I had a series of crashes. And I used to ride in New York City, right? So you get an idea of the environment that I was in. And I crashed my Ninja. I broke my right ankle, 3 ribs, cracked the helmet, some like head injuries there, right? Then I was healing from that, and I got on a dirt bike, and I went over the handlebars. I broke both of my thumbs. Then
Ooh.
I was on another dirt bike. I snapped my wrist. This is all while I'm still healing from the first one. And then I crashed another bike, and I crushed all of the meat out from between the heel, under the bone from the heel. Okay, my foot made a mess out of that. Snapped my wrist, and then I shattered my tibia. I got I T-bar all in the space of 3 years. So I was
Wow.
continuously, I was always healing. I had crutches bungeed to my freaking motorcycle. It's a rough period of my life.
Now, Joe K keeps asking, here's some tech. How could a piece of plastic contain RFID? I'm not sure what he's asking there. Do you know, Tony?
Not offhand. Not offhand. I don't know. Piece of plastic contain RFID.
RFID is an electronic device, isn't it?
Yeah, radio frequency. Maybe he's. I don't know what he's talking about. Elaborate on that, my brother.
Yeah. I probably asked that question, or it's rolled around it half a dozen times, and it's like, okay, we need to look at that. Radio
Yeah, we know.
frequency identification. Okay.
Yeah, we
Yep.
know that, but what does that have to do with plastic?
So in a piece of plastic. I don't know. Is that? I don't know. Elaborate a little more. Barry Cooter as bad as Barry Sheen for injuries. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah. You know who Barry
Oh,
Sheen
okay.
is, Tony?
I have no idea.
Oh, he's a motorbike racer that had his share of broken bones.
Yeah, I was always crashing something. It was brutal. It was brutal. Kiwi, what do you think the best classic trucks for towing and work? So if you had to pick a classic truck to actually, work truck.
For me, it would be the 67 to 72 Chevy C10.
That's hard to argue with. That's hard to argue with.
I mean, you're certainly not going to be the only one at the car show if you own one of those. They're enormously popular, but good-looking truck, tons of stuff you can buy for them. You can build that into exactly the kind of truck you want. Just go through the catalog and dream up the car you want.
I saw something very interesting the other day, Kiwi. Now, I can't remember the generation, but picture a Chevy truck, right? A pickup or just like a light truck from 1960, 1959, 1960. Now, I don't know the whole age range of those, okay? But now picture one of those trucks and picture the front of the hood. Can you see it?
Yeah.
You know the way the front of the hood comes down like this and then there's that ledge underneath it?
Yeah.
Did you know that was actually a feature, a selling feature of those trucks for commercial fleets?
No, why was that?
Because it provided 10-foot closer view of the front of the truck than the competing Dodge or Ford trucks of the day. That Chevy line, I says I don't know the generation of it exactly, but it's the classic 1950s, early 60s Chevy truck, okay?
Right.
That droop on the front of the hood was a feature because it allows you to see 10 foot closer to the front of the truck.
Good grief.
Than the competing Ford or Chevys.
Hmm.
Or Dodges.
So was that when they went from the really high narrow front nose, like on the late 49, 50 Chevy trucks, and they went to the lower?
Oh yeah, definitely. Here, wait.
I can see how you'd get an extra 10 feet of vision there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an actual feature. That was a selling point for those trucks for fleet use.
Huh.
Chevy, let's see, 1960 Chevy truck. Okay. Yeah. See, you. Let me pick a good picture here. Okay.
Oh yeah, yep.
You see the way it's right?
Yeah, that's like a 60 about 63 Chevy truck. Yeah.
Yeah. That droop at the front of the hood was a selling feature for fleet buyers.
Huh. There you go. You learn something every day.
I live for that kind of thing. Seriously, that's the kind of stuff I find information like that, and I'm like a little schoolgirl. I get all happy and shit.
The Mexican spec. I see you said you traded a motorcycle for a 58 Imperial two-door Southampton Crown. Now, Imperial two-door I've heard about. I've never heard of a Southampton Crown. Have you, Tony?
I've never heard of Crown Imperial, yeah, but Southampton Crown? Never heard of it.
I've heard of Southampton. That's a place in England. But
it's a place on Long Island in New York.
Sure. Too. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Elaborate, Mr. Mexican Spec. We're interested, or I am.
Holy Comrades, I just picked up a 2000 Harley Davidson Fat Boy last year for my first bike. I got to do some work to it. Congratulations and good luck with that. Ride safe, my brother. Wheelie King saying that is why Dodge changed the hood line on their trucks in 72 and got rid of the vertically pointed corners. I remember reading that in a Motor Trend article in the 80s. I didn't know that either.
There you go.
Ari's in the house. What's happening, Ari? Long time no see.
Pat saying there's lots of 68 to 79 Fords towing and working every day here in Rome, Georgia. Oh, great trucks, you know. But if you got to pick one, yeah, probably. Honestly, I'd like the look of the Chevy a little better than the Ford, even though I'm a Ford guy.
Yeah, I'm a Mopar guy, but I would definitely pick the Chevy too. Early square bodies are just it's an eternal classic. You know what I'm saying? That nobody else, right? I mean, Ford came close, right? But no, the early square bodies, just perfect. It's just if you had a kid draw a picture of a pickup truck, that's the truck he's going to draw. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true. Yep. Here we go. What have we got? Terence Seymour, same as AU Falcons, Kiwi. Not sure what you're referring to there, though.
Well, that's right. Ari has an Apache. Torino Elite. Okay, what's a Torino Elite?
$1.1-ton Mark IV Cortina into a cage trailer.
Cage trailer in 45 minutes with an axe. I can. Okay, Dean.
I mean, I know Dean's a Kiwi too, but the Torino Elite, I'm not sure what he's through. You've lost me there. I've had many. I can axe a 1.1 ton. Yeah, you lost me.
Zero. That was Ford, man. That was Ford.
Oh, that's right. They did a TV commercial, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen it. I guess I remember it, but I don't remember it like being on TV. But I do remember. I have seen the pictures, all the little videos, like on YouTube. Now, who said that? Torino Elite. Hey, Kiwi, did you ever get any Ford Cortinas over there in New Zealand? Ford Cortinas were everywhere, man. They were a huge seller in New Zealand. Huge.
We got a few of them.
Maybe that's what Dean. That's what Dean Stevenson was talking about. Torino Elite is one of the watches. One of the guys on here with us. My brain went to Ford Torino. Torino Elite is one of the guys making comment.
I think they brought the Cortinas over here before the Pinto.
Oh, they had Cortinas here?
Yeah, not for long. Maybe for just a year or two. Because I remember seeing them around. Yeah, so if I saw them around, they had to be here. And I think they did it just for a short period of time before they brought out the Pinto.
Tara said, did you get the US Dodge trucks or the Aussie AT4 over in New Zealand? I don't think so, bud, no. I'm not even familiar with the AT4. So, no, I'd have to say no, I don't think so.
So what do you think of the aliens in the mall down there in Miami?
Oh, come again? What?
No.
Aliens in the mall?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, New Year's Day. They had like 3 aliens materialize in a mall in Miami. And they had like 100 cop cars. You see the videos of it. It's crazy. I would have figured you'd be right on top of that stuff. Being
Yeah,
in
I
New Zealand with it all.
Hmm.
Uh, they're undocumented.
Surreal. I can imagine. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Someone
yeah.
asked
No,
me a
the
question. I
jellyfish
scrolled
UFO.
up too far now.
We got to save that stuff for Sunday night. We'll talk about all that stuff on Sunday night. And yes, Steve is on the mend. He posted a video himself from his hospital room the other day. Saturday, I think he posted it. So yes, Steve is on the mend. His voice is there, and it's a little weak, and he looks a little weak, but he's come a long way from a freaking coma.
Serial. Hey Kiwi, I pulled the oil pump shaft with my distributor on my Cleveland. Any advice on what to do next? Yeah, that happens. That happens. Sometimes they'll get themselves kind of gunked up and stick into the distributor, but it's not really much of a deal. You've just kind of get yourself a good strong magnet, and you should
Yep.
be able to lower it back down into the hole. And they should have a little circlip deal that stops it coming out, but that sometimes breaks or pulls off or flies off. But you can slide it back down and drop it into the oil pump, and you'll know straight away whether it's gone into the pump.
If you work on enough
You'll
Fords,
feel it.
you know the sound. You know the freaking sound. It's a muffled thunk. You pull the distributor because it's muffled because it falls into the sump and through the oil.
Yeah, yeah.
You pull the distributor, and like 2 seconds later, you hear, you know.
It's like, shit.
That is such a Ford thing. I tell you, I have left many Fords. I've worked on many Fords the car left me with the drive shaft laying in the oil tank. So I just go get another one.
Just
Drop it
put
in
another
a
one, put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the chances of it doing anything other than just laying in the bottom are very slim.
It just lays there.
Yeah, just the viscosity of the oil is such that it doesn't bounce around in there. If it did, it would get tangled up in the crank and whatever. But it doesn't seem to happen that way.
I can hear that sound all the way back to the 1970s. You know what I mean? It's like because I'm scarred by that sound. Because the first time it happens to you, like,
yes, you have a definite oil pressure problem after that happens.
Nostalgic Northerner, thank you for the
Here we
super
go,
chat.
super chat.
1985 Olds Delta 307 Quadrajet, one of the most reliable, comfortable cars ever built. Olds has air hoses galore and some into the air cleaner. Does flipping my lid affect anything important? No, don't worry about it. Flip the lid, let that thing sing. It's fine.
Yeah, all that smog stuff is. We never saw that in New Zealand, like the bits of Americana that we got over there. Like they never had the smog stuff on them, and none of our cars had smog equipment on them. So I opened the hood on one of those things. It's like, okay, I do not know what I'm doing here.
Those Olds, those model years, that engine was the worst as far as vacuum, miscellaneous, nonsensical, crazy vacuum of American cars. Honda Accords of about that era were bad, if not worse. The Fords of the later 70s, but those cars, man, there's just so much. And it's all got to be put back just the right way. The air cleaner sits very low to the engine, and it all has to be put back just the right way so it all fits.
Yeah, we did. We just fortunately never got any of that in New Zealand. Like as clean and green as New Zealand professes to be, there was no restriction on emissions. It's like, if it's not blowing too much smoke, you're good. Off you go.
And you guys didn't die.
What's that?
You guys didn't die.
No, I'm still not catching that.
You guys didn't die.
No, we didn't die. No.
That's impressive because they told us we were all going to die if we didn't have that shit.
Yeah. No.
Um,
Bleed the 90s. Been trying to dial in my carburetor for winter cold stuff, but can't get it to one pump crank like in summer. Tried adjusting mixtures, idles, and choke, but can't find the combo. Any ideas? It's a carburetor, man. It's going to be harder to start in winter.
well, I can't find that question.
844 it was. Bleed the 90s.
Oh, I don't have. Believe it or not, there's no timestamp next to my.
Oh, really? Okay. Not much point me telling you that then.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't highlight it, unfortunately.
okay. I'm looking. Honda Civic. You can't highlight it. Huh? That sucks.
How long ago was it? 6 minutes ago, so it's a few up there.
Oh, okay. I guess I
Um,
can't find it.
but no, I mean, your engine's just going to be harder to start in winter, like until it's warmed up because it's just so cold. I mess around with the choke, and you can usually like ramp up the automatic choke if it's got an automatic choke, um, and like maybe even increase your choke, your high idle when the choke's engaged, can help a bit. But messing with the choke is what I usually do. But yeah, it's hard to get it just right because um, in the modern fuel injection, there's an awful lot of code written into the ECUs to make them run when they're cold. They do a lot of different stuff to them that you just can't do with a carburetor.
Well, now if I knew what the question, if I could find the question, what kind of carburetor is it? Because different.
He doesn't say, unfortunately. He just I just scroll down. Where's he gone? Oh, it's a fair way up there, isn't it?
Okay, so whoever that was with that
Yeah.
question.
Bleed the 90s. Yeah, been trying to dial in my carburetor. He doesn't say.
Yeah. Okay. So different carburetors have different procedures. If you tell me what carburetor it is, I could probably get you dialed in. Oh, okay. Here it is. It's a Carter 2-barrel 1971. I was just wondering, since it takes it to 10 pumps to start it now. Oh, it's taking 10 pumps to start it after it sits for a day or two, correct? Because or is it like you shut the car off, let it sit overnight, and it takes 10 pumps? Correct. Okay, so what that is okay. That's not your carburetor. Oh, overnight it takes you 10 times. Yeah, is the choke actually working? Is it closing? See, if it happens after, let's say, it sits for 2-3 days, what's happening is the gasoline is evaporating out of the flow pole because modern gas is not formulated to. Modern gas will evaporate. The older gas was formulated to not evaporate, and that's why it reduces and turns into that varnish. Okay, modern gas doesn't do that. So that's if it sits, let's say, 2 days. 3 days, you'll get that. It'll take you, you have to crank it and pump it to get it to start. If it's overnight and it does that, either the choke isn't working, does it start and then shut off immediately? Because that could be a choke pull-off issue, too aggressive on the choke pull-off. All right, well, we'll get back to that when he. Coke's not working. It's normal. Yes, it'll start briefly and die. Okay. So what's happening is the choke pull off is too aggressive, right? So what's happening is when you start it, so the spring on the choke is closing the blade. Now, when you start it, when you first start it, the choke pull off is supposed to open it just slightly so that it can pull some air in, right? Now, if the choke pull off is too aggressive, when you start it, the vacuum hits the pull off and it pulls the choke open a little too far. So then it'll stall right away, and then you may have to start it 8 or 10 times before it'll actually catch and run. So what you do is there's between the choke pull off and the choke itself, you're going to see a linkage rod that goes like this. Okay, so the linkage rod has a bend in it like that, and by squeezing that bend more, you open the choke more. By spreading the bend, you open the choke less. So try spreading that bend about, I don't know, like maybe 10% of its total width like that, and see if that doesn't fix your problem. I think did I do good with that?
What's that done?
It's almost 2 hours.
Wow, it has too, yeah. Wow.
Holy shit. So how many
End of times is going to be minus 16 Celsius tomorrow. Where the heck are you?
It's someplace where it's end of time.
Negative 16 Celsius. That's cold.
Jay Weiss says he loves listening to you guys, even if I don't know my way around cars that well. Great banter and fun comments on the chat. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it for Kiwi. So Kiwi double appreciates it. One for him, one for me.
One for there you go.
All right.
One flies when you're having fun, indeed. Tavo's 39 degrees Celsius. That's pushing 100 degrees. Ooh, that's hot. It's hot over in Tavo land.
Okay. Oh, and Nick, we freaking rock, Kiwi. Are we the best tech talk show in all of YouTube? You betcha.
Quite possibly, yes. Quite possibly.
You just glitched. You know, it was weird. It was weird. All right. So everybody, okay, we got all these people. You should have right now. You should pick up at least 267 subs. If you guys have not subbed to Kiwi's cream puff crematorium, all of those things that he is, go over there now and sub to his channel. I'm sure Zero will put up the link somewhere.
Oh, the guys have been busy. We got 17,009 now.
You proved me wrong, Kiwi.
I did. How? Well, how did I
You proved. Okay, so last week I asked you what the latest video you're going to put up is. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said that you're going to install these Ken Diggett door handles.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm being honest with you because I love you. So I can be honest with you, right? I laughed to myself. I snickered. I was like, he'll get like 12 fucking views on that. Right? I'm serious, okay? I kept it to myself. I didn't want to be a dick about it, right? So
right.
I'll teach him how to put a good video out. No, you blew my freaking mind. I checked it yesterday. It's got 4,200 views.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Kiwi, that's amazing.
No,
that's amazing.
It's done pretty well. Yeah.
I could not believe you got that many views on that video. So
4,700 views. Yeah.
4,700. You picked up like 500 views from that, or maybe it was that. Yeah, almost 5,000 views on installing these Ken Diggett door handles, which are really ugly. But no, you did a masterful job of installing them, and you proved me wrong. You absolutely proved me wrong.
That's why they pay me the little bucks.
This is it. So Ari just put up the link to Kiwi's Crustacean Crematorium. Go there, learn all about King Diggit door handles.
Door handles, yeah, yep.
I couldn't bring myself to watch the video. I got to be honest with you. As far as I got was just seeing how many views.
I can't say much because I don't watch many of your videos. I'll be honest with you, because time you worked all day and then you make some of your own videos, it's like, okay, I just want to watch something other than cars. So,
all right. So
Barracuda, I prefer it when you two are sitting side by side. Yeah, I can't lean into him and like freaking out.
I don't have to look. I can go like
that's
this.
always entertaining, like leaning over towards him and
see,
see him running away.
I'm trying to pick your nose.
We're on the other way around on my screen.
Can we touch fingers? Let's see.
Well, no, that's that
way. You're going the wrong way, Kiwi. Up this way.
You're going the wrong way.
Look at that. See, it's just like being together, only not as gay. All right. All right, guys.
Knights of the Gooseberry Circle leader Kiwi. That's a new one. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're way over 2 hours now. So everybody contributed with Super Chat. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Yes. Everybody contributed with just your presence and your conversation and everything, and just thank you equally. We love all of you guys. Our awesome mods, Mexican Spec, Zero, Fubar, Ari. Thank you.
Yep, all of you.
Zero, immerse yourself in some Zappa opera stuff. I guarantee you'll like Thingfish. Thingfish was awesome. But Joe's Garage is good too. And that's it. All right. Anything you want to plug real quick before I make it go away?
No. I'm trying to put a couple of videos together, but I'm not sure when they'll be out. So I really don't have anything to plug. Just come and have a look at what we've done. Keep an eye open. Like 3 weeks, we should be on the road. About 3 weeks, I think. We're on the road with this 59 Plymouth. So, yeah, let's hold our breath and see what happens.
I'm looking forward to staying home.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Tony's not a believer in this 2,000-mile adventure. But,
yeah, no, I'm good.
He was wrong about the Kindigit door handles too. So that's all good.
Dude, I was so wrong. I was like, I'm telling you, when you told me that was a video you're gonna do, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a disaster. No, you absolutely proved me wrong. You absolutely proved me wrong.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go. I'm gonna hit the goodbye. Say goodbye, everybody, Kiwi.
All right, see you guys. Thanks for joining in.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you guys on Sunday night. And it's over.